I randomly got a ton of requests to make a tutorial for making the hide and seek mechanic in Hide and Seek Act 2 of Sonic.EXE Spirits of Hell. And when I made this mechanic and made a post about it, a lot of people, and by a lot I mean 4, were going crazy about it and were excited for a tutorial for it, so here we are. This could have been a Tails part in the tutorial series, but because I never did it, it's just going to be an extra tutorial that's out there for people who want to make this mechanic in their EXE game. Anyway, let's get on with it. So as always, I'm just going to start off by showing what we're going to make, and I might make this, what I have, I might make it slightly differently, but you can see, so we have this thing we can hide behind. It can be any sprite you want. This is just a placeholder. And we have Sonic walking back and forth. He's kind of floating, but that's just the sprites having issues. We come out here, we can follow him there, go back and hide. And if he sees us, he will start to chase us. And we kind of got to get away, and he just chases us until he catches us. I just have him setting hurt to 1 whenever he touches us as default, but you can set it, you can have him kill you after he touches you, you can have him just something else happen, whatever you want, but you get the point. To start off, as always, copy and paste the default level. So in the default level here, first thing we want to do is make out a space for this, because a space like this is probably not the best option. So maybe clear out a bit of this. Just that this should probably be enough right here. Just for testing's sake, I'll drag 1 ring on the starting point so you can just collect it. So you can just collect it right as you start, so that way it's not impossible to get away when you have to. Basically, we're gonna make something that's actually similar to how this Motobug works. It goes left and right, and there's barriers here that allows it to stop, and you can drag it out more, cause it to go out more. You can drag it in more, cause it to not go out so much. We're basically just gonna make something like that, but with Sonic.exe. But first, we want to create our hiding spot. So you just want to make an active object, make sure it's on layer 3 right here. So if you have layer 3 selected, any objects you spawn in will be on layer 3, but if not, then just drag it down there, because it will not work properly if it's not there. So this just can be whatever sprite you want it, of like what you want Tails to be able to hide behind. I could not find the original sprites that were used in Spirits of Hell. I thought they were from some part of Lava Reef Zone, but I could not find them anywhere, so I'm just using this as a placeholder. Obviously, you might have your own sprite, you might not, and I might just have Tails spawn on top of it to start behind it. We'll rename it to a wall, I guess. That works. I'm gonna just add transparency here so that way I can see what's going on behind it. First, let's just create the hiding mechanic. You don't have to make a group. I'm just gonna make a group because it helps sort things out better. So basically, to start, we can just simply do if this. Oh wait, I'm stupid. We want to create another variable. Oh, well, it actually transferred a variable over from when I made it in here. But basically, I'll show you again, just creating a new variable and naming it something like hidden or whatever. That's going to be the variable that determines if we are hidden or not. So it already created it for me there, but that's how do you just, so you just make that there. And then on the player object here, collisions, overlapping another object, find your wall object or whatever Tails can hide behind. So if it is overlapping the wall, then under Tails right here, we just want to go to values, set hidden, and set it to 1 to show that we are hidden. And then just on a brand new line, we want to negate this. So if we are not overlapping with the object, we want to set hidden to 0. So that's it. That's kind of a basic hiding system we can have. I recommend to have like some UI on the screen or something that'll show if you are hidden or not, just because it can help the player realize like how far can they go and peek out and still be considered hidden. You know, I can show a quick here I have example sprites I can show. Just gonna steal a few sprites from rotting real quick. On here, you can either put it when they're overlapping, or you can add if the value, where is it there? If hidden is equal to 0 or 1. So say if hidden is equal to 0. So if hidden equals 0, meaning we're not hidden, we can set, in my case, setting the frame to 1, or technically 0 since first frame is 0. And then if we are hidden, then we set it to the next frame. So here's what that can look like real quick. So if we are out invisible, it shows visible. If we are in here, it shows hidden. And you can kind of see, you can come out, you can be out a little bit and you're considered hidden just because of how the hitbox is. That's why on here you can also make this be if it's the player, like Sonic or Tails, colliding with it, but I'd really recommend using the green player ball object because sometimes it doesn't work properly if you use the actual character sprites. But that is just so we can know whether we're hidden or not. Something else we should probably just do, as always, start a frame, set game character to be 1, so that way we start the frame as Tails. So you can see here, and it still works properly. So this is just that's just a good way to show if we're hidden or not. So now for Sonic.EXE. There are multiple different sprite sheets you could use. There's lots out there, but this is just the one that I'm going to be using. Probably one of the most commonly used and oldest Sonic.EXE sprite sheets. As always with DeviantArt, you're going to have to download it from here. You can't just save image as, or else it's not going to be high quality. It's going to be these walking sprites right here you see that we're going to end up using. And then we'll also need these floating sprites right here. So with making that, you just want to import the sprite sheet. So just get an active and then just find the sprite sheet wherever you have it. So I have it right here, and as always, you pick whatever the background color is for transparency, which is this purplish thing in a way. And now we have this whole sprite sheet here. I'd recommend just adding the sprite sheet and then putting it off to the side for now, and then like copying the frame and then making a brand new active, and this active will be Sonic himself walking around. So similar to Knuckles punching with the previous tutorials, I'll just crop out what we need. Should probably crop out a bigger, leave enough room for this sprite here, so that way the rest of them are able to fit in one hitbox. It shouldn't be too much of an issue, but it's just good to do it. So say let's crop all of them like that, copy and paste it, and similar to Knuckles level, we'll crop out one like that. Might wanna up a little bit of that one got cut in. I'll move it back like 3 spaces just so it can fit in there. We'll copy this one, get the next frame and paste it in here. The best way to make sure that they're equal is making sure his head is on the same the same x-axis as the rest. The y-axis only changes because of how the animation is, but you basically just keep doing that until you've got all of them in. And when you've got them all in, we want to always make sure the center point is set correctly, make sure the animation loops, and that's looking fine to me. And you could set the speed if you want, which would actually be starter speed. So if you want, you can set it to something like 10, as it looks slow in here, but it'll play faster when we are actually using him. And something else, once you have all of them in here, copy them, go to the 16 direction here and paste them all, and right click here and flip horizontally. Make sure these settings are the same here. The speed doesn't matter too much other than starting speed, because we're going to set up a code that will sync the animation speed to the speed he's moving at. So that will just make everything a lot easier. And we can rename him to just Sonic.EXE walk or something. Can really be anything. And right now, just drag him wherever you want him to like start moving. Make sure he's not floating, doesn't look like he is. So maybe I'm thinking somewhere around here. he can start moving, and then we want to set up his movement here. So change this to bouncing ball, go under here, wipe them all, pick these two directions only, because the Sonic.EXE that's going to chase us all over the place is going to be a separate Sonic.EXE. I don't know, let me actually check real quick, I forgot. Yeah, I was right, it'll be a separate Sonic.EXE that will spawn when he spots us and chases us around. So set his starter position there, set up, what did I do? Okay, set his directions to only be those two, because we only want him going back and forth. His speed, I would set it to maybe something like 5. Well, we can see how that would look. Yeah, I think that looks, maybe it's a little slow. How does 10 look? Yeah, 10 actually looks more accurate to the original. So now we want to set up Sonic.EXE's code. So this I would recommend making a group for. Just call it something like Sonic.EXE AI. And first thing we want to do is set his starting direction. So you can either put it in here or just make another starter frame. I would just make another one and find where he is. Set his starting direction to wherever you want. So I'm gonna make him not that. I'm gonna make him select direction. I'm gonna make him go this way at the very start. So that way, no matter what, he'll always be going that way. And now we want to create the two, kind of similar to these types of barriers that will cause him to bounce back and forth. And we can stretch him out, we can move him in closer. It'll determine how far he can walk before he turns around. So these don't have to be any specific sprite, because these will be hitboxes that'll be invisible. So say like you just want to pick like a blue, like blue for Sonic, and drag it over. If you have like a sprite you want to put on it to indicate that it's Sonic, if that helps you remember it better, then you can do that all you want, but all I'm going to do is just this blue object. So maybe drag it up high enough, maybe put it a little low, just enough so that way no matter what he won't be able to like go through it or miss it or something. Got to make sure he always hits it, or else he's gonna walk off into void or something. Sonic.EXE barrier, I don't know. We're gonna have two different ones, so make sure you know the left from right. So this one can be, you can just put like _L to show that's the left one, and then we want to make a clone of it and name this one to be _R for the right one. So this one's going to be the left bounce, so this one will be the right one. Why we can't do two of them? Because they're copied, so any code that's made for one of them is going to copy onto the other one, and we want them to do slightly different things. You'll notice for this one it is two different ones, so that's what we want to do. So the position of these can just be however far you want him to be able to walk. So say for example I put them around here, so in between this distance here is the furthest he'll be able to move. Anywhere outside here or outside here he can't move to unless he goes in his chase mode. Then he'll be able to go wherever he wants. But now that we have those created, we can create the system for him going back and forth when he hits one of them. And again, they should, yeah, okay, so don't make this mistake. Make sure these are on layer 3. Let me make sure Sonic.EXE, he is also on the incorrect layer. So the code would have definitely broken if I had forgot about that. So yeah, make sure they're on layer 3. And what we can do now is, if I can find Sonic, there he is. So if Sonic collides with another object, we'll start with the left barrier, then we want to set his direction. This is kind of all you need to do, because if he's hitting the left barrier, he will most likely already be going the other direction. Something I did in the other code was checking if his direction was facing this way, then bounce it to the other way. But I'm thinking about that now, and you don't really have to do that since this is the left barrier, so no matter what, he'll be facing that way. And even if somehow it breaks and he like hits it from the other side, then it'll still set him down the right path. And so always copy this, change this, the second one to the other one, and then in here flip it so that way he can face the other direction. So here's a basic thing of what that looks like. So He's walking, he hits it, and he goes the other direction. And then same with over here. When he gets all the way over, he hits it, and he'll just keep going back and forth and back and forth. And that's kind of it for that. So now we want to add it to where he's able to look for you and spot you and chase you. So first we'll need an object that will be his vision, or just the object that if we collide with it while we're not hidden, it'll set him into the chasing mode. Now you can make a custom shape for this to kind of be how far he can see, but I'm going to be lazy and I'm going to snatch this right here, which is the trigger thing, or just the what is it, the homing target painter, which is basically for Shadow's homing attack. This is like how far it can look. So I'm just gonna make a new active object, and I had copied it, so I'm just gonna paste it in here. The transparency color is slightly weird, so you might want to set that, and you might want to make this another color, so I'll probably make it red. And make sure the origin point is at this little end right here, so that way when it follows him, it'll follow him from that point, so that way it can look forward like something similar to this. It can look forward like that. Now, it doesn't have to be this small. You can stretch it out as far as you want it to. Just know, stretching it out a little too far can make it tough, because say you were all the way over here, it means he'd be able to see you from off screen. But if it's too short, then if he sees you and he's on screen, then like if you can see him on screen, then he wouldn't be able to get you because you're not in his range yet. So I'd say somewhere around a point like this, maybe something like that would be the best option. Because in the original Spirits of Hell, there is some times where he's off screen, like you don't see him, and he still spots you because you get in his vision. You can just rename this to Sonic.EXE vision range, something like that. And first thing, actually, what I should do is on here, copy this and flip it the other way on the other side, and make sure the origin point is the same, which it is, so we are good there. And now in here, first thing we want to do is making that follow him. So under an always, it's right here. We get the position, set the X coordinate to always be, where is he, Sonic right here. So the X coordinate to be Sonic's X coordinate. If you want to do the Y coordinate, you can, but if you don't, then that's fine. You just have to make sure it's set where you want it to. So if you want it to be like in his center, you put it right there and it'll be there. If you want it to be like up at his eyes to be more realistic, you can put it there, which is what I'm gonna do. And it also means you can drag it off screen if you want. So say I wanted to throw it over here so it's out of my way, it'll still follow him. Yeah, it'll still follow him here, as you can see. And we still also have to set the direction, so it's not gonna work properly like that for a little bit. But that's easy to do because we can simply under here just change the direction with him. So now, so you'll see when he hits it, he'll look the other way. Basically, this will always follow him, and this is just how far he can see. So you'll notice from all the way here, he'll be able to see. You can kind of get an idea of how far he can see. So you can experiment with that, how maybe you can make it different depending on what difficulty your game has, or if you have a selecting difficulty, you can make that different. So that's that done. Now we want to make it to where if he spots us, he chases us. So first we want another active object, and we should go back in here, and you can just find these down here and copy, just get a cheap copy of them and paste them in here. Transparency color as the same as always. It's only 2 sprites, so it's not really that bad. Just make a big enough barrier to leave breathing room, and then copy it. The only difference between these two is that his quills flap slightly back and forth, so kind of try to match. Okay, so you can see the only difference is his quills flap, so you don't even have to do that. And you probably have your own sprites that you're using. And as always, just make sure that's centered properly and just get it to loop, and you can leave it at 50 because it looks normal like that. And should probably on the other side get these to be set like that too, so that way in case you go the other direction he'll look the other way. So now we have the sprites in there. We can name this to Sonic.exe chase mode, I guess you can call it that. And under movement, we want bouncing ball. Leave it at all directions so we can follow you anywhere. Change the speed to about maybe 10. You can experiment with that all you want. And something else you want to do, under destroy if object is too far from frame, uncheck that, and then under inactive if too far, set it to no. Basically what that does is so that way whenever you get far enough and he starts to go off screen, he doesn't just stop chasing you. That's a problem I see in lots of EXE games. So even from here, give him a little bit, he'll start to come down here and not, oh wait, because he's not coming after us, I didn't code that yet. But under the always, we can actually even still just set his direction to look in the direction of, and it can either be the green player ball, tails, or the red object. I'm just gonna make it the player right there. So now, if you give it a little bit, then he will kind of start to chase us. He's pretty slow, so maybe 10 is not the good speed. I can never remember which speed is like the good speed, but you'll see he'll change directions and he'll come after us. So experiment with that speed a little bit. I'll put it at like 20 or something. And now we want to make it where this is overlapping his vision, and we also want to check if we're hidden, so that's where this value comes into play. So under tails, compare value if hidden. So let's say, so actually you just want to make it 0, because if it's set to 1 and we are hidden, then then we want it to do nothing because he can't see us there. So if it overlaps with us and we are not hidden, then we want to do quite a few things. We first want to destroy everything that was here before, because how it works in the original Spirits of Hell, he chases you. Once you get spotted, he like won't stop chasing you until he catches you or until you find the rocket. Sadly, I don't know how to make the rocket. If you really want me to make a tutorial for that, I could, but it'd have to be something for the far, far future. But for now, we just kind of want to make it where once you've been spotted, he will not stop chasing you, and you either got to make it to the end of the level before he catches you, or you just accept fate and try again. So we just get rid of all those, and then want to create, not sound, under create new objects, create a new object at, so the object we want to create is going to be the Sonic.exe in chase mode, and then his x coordinate is just going to be the x coordinate of Sonic here, because depending on where he is, where he was when he spotted us, we just want him to start from there. I'm sorry, I'm running out of breath. So then the y coordinate, we just want that to be the y coordinate as well. And then layer, that's just whichever layer you want it to be on. So I'd make that the same layer as the player. So that'd be layer 3, or if you've added or deleted layers, it might be different, but just the layer where all the character skins are on and everything like that. So that creates that at that. And something else we want to do here, leave it on moving at start, leave it visible. So what we want to do is uncheck create at start, so that way this one just doesn't start chasing us from the start. So he kind of doesn't exist at the very start of the game, but when he spots us, then he will start to exist. If I've done it correctly, I can show you what that looks like. So if we are hidden here and the value is set to 1 and he comes back over here, you'll notice when the red touches us, nothing happens because we were hidden. But if we come out here and we're visible, you'll notice he'll start to chase us. Everything else is gone. There's no sign of anything. Even if you're hidden, he'll still come after you. So that's kind of how that works, and if you want to get this out of the way, just uncheck visible at start. I'll leave the barriers open for now. But and something else, because we set it up to where if Tails collides with this wall, you can copy this and kind of paste it anywhere you want to, and whenever Tails collides with it, it will still count for being hidden. So say we go, he's over there, we come over here, we're in here, we're still hidden, you'll see, and okay, well that's one thing, you gotta make sure he's not in front of the object. So I would just set him to the front and make sure he's just always behind those objects, so that way he'll go in front but Tails is still behind the objects. And now you'll see he's hidden, we can go follow him. As long as we're back in here, then we are fine. But if we come out here, then he will start to chase us, and we're kind of done from that point. So that is kind of the basics of it. Now it's just a little bit of extra things like sound effects and music, because the music does change when he spots you, and his laugh plays. Okay, so the way that I did the music before when testing this is no longer working. I love Clickteam. So what I'm gonna do instead is setting hidden to 2, which can just be an extra, like say for example a spotted type of value. So compare value, if hidden equals 2, and we want to also add the limit condition, so that way not run this event once. Limit conditions, so that way the music does not rape my ears. And we want to play, you can play and loop your music unless you know for a fact that they'll get caught before the music can loop again, but I would just do play and loop music. So I'll pick the chase music, loop it infinitely, and then I'll just play the Sonic.EXE laugh sound, and then I also want to stop Door into Summer, which is the default music. And now you'll see if I go in here and hide, when he comes out and when I come out, the music will start and Door into Summer will stop, and he will just kind of chase me wherever I go. And even if I go far, like super far off the screen, give him a little bit and he will eventually catch up to us and not get stuck from outside the screen. There we go. Took him a while, but he finally made it. So that's kind of that, and then something extra that I might just do for testing's sake, which is if Tails collides with the chasing Sonic, then under the movement values I'm just gonna set hurt to 1. So that's just extra for testing's sake, which is why I give him a ring at the start. So say I'll let him go by here, and then I kind of peek out, but then as he's coming here, I let him come out, I get a few rings, and when he touches me, he hits me. So that can just be a little extra thing you can do, and no matter how far you go, he will catch up to you. So okay, so see, that should really be it. These barriers here, you want to also make them invisible at start here. So that is kind of it. That's really the full system. If you do like walk in front of him, he does get you right away. So maybe don't do that. But that's basically it. That's the entire Sonic.EXE Spirits of Hell Hide and Seek Act 2 hiding mechanic and chasing thing. I don't know how to do the rockets, sadly, but I can look more into those if you really want a tutorial on that. And that should really be, that's it for this video, really. This got requested out of nowhere, so I just decided why not. I think a few people a while back when I was working on part 3 of the Sonic.EXE, or no, I had just posted part 3, and then a few people wanted Hide and Seek Act 2 to kind of continue off of that, which made sense. I don't know why I didn't do it. But now I'm doing it here because out of nowhere, a lot of people just wanted it all of a sudden. So this isn't going to be a part of the Sonic.EXE tutorial series. This will just be another random tutorial that'll be just out there for anyone. That should really be it for this video. So close to 1,000 subscribers. Hopefully we'll be there soon, because I might have something special planned. I might not. I'm still really thinking about it, and then once I think about it, I gotta get it done before the milestone. So thank you so much for watching. I hope this helped. If you have any trouble, leave a comment. I'll try my best to help you out. And that should be it for this. I've said that like 3 times already. Goodbye.